A block and the B block, and it just seems crazy. This Best of Super Juniors, I know, don't have it has the normal comparisons, but you got a lot of debuts, and you got a lot of new faces, you got a lot of first-time encounters, you got some veterans. This could go any way. One thing for sure, this is going to be some damn good wrestling. Oh, hello there. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome to this simple bracketology and simple predictions video breaking down days 1 through 4 of the latest up-and-coming event in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Best of the Super Juniors 26. For those of you who don't know, the Best of the Super Juniors is, you guessed it, a tournament focused on finding the best of the Super Juniors in wrestling through New Japan Pro Wrestling's format. And we have this partnership between New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and CMLL. And we have newcomers from Bullet Club. We got representatives from Australia, representatives from the UK, representatives from the US, and good old Japan themselves. It is a who's who of wrestlers here. That's right, wrestling. You are going to see some high, fast-paced, octane, calculated, technical, strategic wrestling. And that's what this is all about. Let me break down the format for you and how this works. So basically, we have 20 men here, and they're split into two blocks, Block A and Block B, and they're 10 men apiece. And I'm looking at them right now because I've been pondering about this the last couple of days. And basically, what you're going to see is you're going to see each of the 10 men basically face off against each other in one-on-one encounters over the next several days, with a day break in between once in a while, which is what I'm only doing the first 4 days, thankfully. Hoofa. During this round robin expedition, I like to call it, you can think about it like this. It'll be basically on point-based formats. And here's how it works. If you get a win, you get 2 points. If the match becomes a draw, you each get 1 point. And of course, if it's a win, the person gets 2, the other one, they get 0. And each match is up to 30 minutes in length. After doing some research over the last couple of years, I've noticed there hasn't really been no encounters to a draw. Not even close, it seemed. The longest match, according to recent memory, was last year's finals between Hiromu Tanahashi and Taiji Ishimori. And I believe they went over 30 minutes, which of course is the exception. And by the way, as far as the semifinals and finals go, the top 2 scores from each block will become the semifinals, and then the winners of those 2 semifinal matches a representative from, basically, I guess it could really be representatives from just all one block, or it could be representatives from multiple. Bottom line, top 4 scores go to semifinals, and then the 2 winners, they face off in the finals, and then that person wins the entire thing. And the entire focus is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, currently held by Dragon Lee, who recently defended against the former champion, Bone Sorter, representing Bullet Club, Taiji Ishimori, in an incredible one-on-one encounter in, I believe, what was day 2 of New Japan Dontaku, where Sanada faced Kazuchika Okada. But we'll talk more about that later. So, with that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first tell you a bit about each of the participants in each block. And shout out to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Go follow them at njpwworld.com and on Twitter. And I'm not paid for this. I'm just Simple Fat Wrestling, trying to promote you into something good and different that isn't WWE. And that will be a ton of fun for you to follow and create and do your own bracket. Anyway, there are 10 men in each block, and again, there are representatives representing factions, because that's what New Japan Pro Wrestling is about, factions, and then you got representatives from different companies. With that, let me break down each block for you. So Block A contains the following participants, and you might know several of these names, because there's several veterans, and for all my fellow US people that watch Ring of Honor, you know some of these names too. So in Block A, we have New Japan Pro Wrestling veteran Tiger Mask. We have a representative from Roppongi 3K, Sho. We have the current IWGP Light Heavyweight Champion, Dragon Lee, and if I'm mispronouncing that title or name, apologies in advance. Another New Japan Pro Wrestling veteran. No, I actually take that back. He's not New Japan Pro Wrestling veteran. He is a representative for CMLL, a company down in Mexico. And my friend Cindy, go follow her, nodq.com/Cindy. She can tell you more about these people than I can. She's much more in tune with the Mexican style of wrestling. I'm still learning it. Anyway, Titan, or Titan, and I'll show you say it. Then we have Marty Skrull coming back once again. We have the Octopus Jonathan Gresham. We have Taiji Ishimori. We have Yoshinobu Kanemaru, representing my favorite faction, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Suzuki-gun. Kasaninare! Love me, Minoru Suzuki, man. awesome, awesome wrestler. We also have Taka Michinoku. Those of you probably remember him from his very short WWE tenure. Todorosuke! And then we have truly who I think is going to be a clear favorite to win the entire thing, Shingo Takagi. Before I get into the B block, let me tell you a little bit more about each of these competitors in the A block. So a lot of these are returning veterans. For example, Taka Michinoku, he's representing Suzuki Gun. He's coming back now, basically from a 2-year hiatus. And the thing about Suzuki Gun, they really don't care who they disappoint. They got one objective, and that's to win. And whether that motivates them truly or not, that's not up for you to determine, decide, or even understand. Bottom line, they're out to hurt people, make money, and win. So we have Taka Michinoku representing, Suzuki-gun. And we also have, we have Tiger Mask representing New Japan Pro Wrestling, 18 years in the game. He is the only 2-time winner of this incredible tournament, Best of the Super Juniors. So he's definitely one you want to look out to. Don't ever count a veteran out. We have Titan. He calls himself the Immortal, representing CMLL. This is his second appearance. He took an absence for 6 years. And we also have, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Taiji Mori, Bone Soldier, declared by Bullet Club. This is his second straight appearance. He's been in it 3 total times now. He lost the finals last year again to Hiromu Tanahashi. But again, he wants to make the division reborn. I feel like he's come a long way in doing that. And again, he's representing Bullet Club. Then you have Yoshinobu Kanemaru, his 3rd straight. Moves include deep impact, but the thing about him, he loves to drink, and it seems like drinking motivates him. The more he seems drunk, the stronger and tougher he seems to be in the ring. It's almost like a Bull Raicho from Mortal Kombat when you think about it. Drunken style. Representing Suzuki-gun. You also have Jonathan Gresham, who is basically coming in here representing Ring of Honor, a recent partnership done now for the last couple of years, I believe, with New Japan. Jonathan Gresham knows the octopus because when people are in the ring with him, it feels like he has 8 limbs. He's adapted to that mane. He's a great submission specialist. He's even made Taka Michinoku tap out personally in a tag team encounter back on their previous tour earlier this year, Honored Rising. You have the villain Mighty Skrull, who is always a fun favorite. He's been there with the likes of Ruby Eagles. And he calls this Revenge of the Villain, and his only enemy is Jet Lag. This will be his 3rd time appearance, so I'm definitely looking out for him. And I think that covered everybody. Oh, and Shingo Takagi is the one guy I feel like you truly need to follow from this block. He basically debuted where the finals will take place for this in Ryogoku under LIJ. Last of the Dragon, he's basically calling. That's his finisher, or the... I forget the name of the clothesline. Damn. Anyway, he's been 10 years now in this game, and he is currently undefeated, unblemished in singles action. I feel like he'd truly go and win this entire thing. But I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then, like I said, you have Sho, who has had encounters with Shingo Takagi, and he basically wants the finals to be New Japan's own, and he's representing Roppongi 3K, and they're currently the light heavyweight tag team champions after beating Shingo Takagi and Bushi in an incredible tag team bout. Their first successful defense as champions. They weren't like just hot potato. So with that, I believe I covered everything about the A block. So let's go into the B block real quick. So we have Ryosuke Taguchi representing Taguchi Japan. Apologies if I'm butchering the name. He is basically the veteran in this, and what's interesting is basically a representative of, I guess, a high-profile band there, and a good friend of him basically talked about how he won this back in 2012. He's been in this now for 14 times, so experience can definitely carry him through this. And literally, he busts his ass in the ring. He even busts it out in a better review, I think, than Naomi. Yeah, I went there. Anyway. And he says that basically Ryo for this will be reborn. New Japan Gredus. So, and he's 4 years old also, so it's going to be very interesting to see how far he goes in this. Will Ospreay, elevated! He has basically redefined his style. He almost seems like a heavyweight now. He still does aerial stuff, but he doesn't seem to be just defined now by aerial assassin. You might as well just call him assassin. He's going to be a clear favorite to win this, obviously. This is not his first time being in this. And on top of that, he also had incredible bouts with most of the competitors in this. He feels like he's a lot stronger. And with his arsenal he's got between Stormbreaker, Hidden Blade, Robinson Special, Oscutter, there's so much this guy can pull out against you. He's going to be very, very hard to beat. Following that, we have Rock Romero, the leader of Roppongi 3K, I like to call it. Basically brought the group together, member of Chaos. And basically, he's been a veteran in the game as well. I believe the last match I saw him in was against Scorpio Sky in Hollywood Wrestling when he was United States Television Champion, I think they called it. And they had a nice bout, and he retained under circumstances. So I'm sure he's going to be crafty. He's going to pull some stuff out. So I'm not going to count Rocky Romero short either. Say it's going to, that this, no, nothing else is going to be focused on the juniors. So Nagakuzo, we're going to see what happens here as he represents Chaos, which is also represented by the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. The other member of Roppongi 3K, Yo, he is also in the B block, and basically this is his second straight time, his third year, I believe, overall, and he is adapting to a style called Dragon Style. He calls that part of his secret weapon, and he wants to be the icon of the junior division. He calls himself a masterpiece, compares himself to great works of David, and again, he wants this final to be New Japan's own. He even says if it comes down to him and Sho, who are tag team partners, but even bigger rivals, he would absolutely love that. I would find that very interesting if those two faced up against each other one-on-one. To this knowledge, right now, I'm not sure if they have faced each other one-on-one. Still learning. Following this, we have representing Ring of Honor, Bandito. Bandito, who recently signed with Ring of Honor. Thank you, by the way, Andreas Enormous, for saving him from WWE and Vince's tyrant reign. He has been in incredible bouts and basically made his name known with New Japan back at G1 Supercard when he held incredible aerial offense against Taiji Ishimori and Dragon Lee, including what I thought was like a double faraway slam off the top rope. So Bandito is one you definitely need to follow for. This will be his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut. He is considered basically a powerhouse in this entire Best of the Super Juniors. With his over-the-top rope, like I said, antics and aerial antics. He called himself the most wanted. He wants to come out of this like a bandit. I'm very curious to see if he can pull that off. He recently had a great one-on-one bout with Flip Gordon, and I'll get more into Flip Gordon in a little bit. Speaking of which, why don't I just get into that right now? So two participants, unfortunately, that were supposed to be in this, Flip Gordon and El Desperado. Respectively, they both are not, because Flip Gordon is having issues with visa, and El Desperado is injured. So those two have been swapped out with a hired gun called Dukai, I believe is how you say it. And apparently he is Taiji's, the current never overweight champion, representing Suzuki-gun. Assassin, basically. He's a mercenary, a hired gun. He basically doesn't give a damn about these bastards. His words personally, and I might be some of them too. He basically is going to go in there, hurt everybody, and win. And we are in for something unique and scary and one of a kind. I mean, his look himself is already something to be intimidated about. So I'm going to be very interested to see how he does against another of the same participant that replaced Flip Gordon. His name is Narita, and he is literally a young lion. For those of you who don't know, the young lions basically up-and-comers that could be the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And basically they go for this dojo, they work with Ring of Honor stars, they work with New Japan stars, they have their own title, tag team bouts. And this guy, I'm not going to count him short, he's been there with veterans like Justin Thunder Liger, who's going to retire next year at Wrestle Kingdom, just to name one person. So with that, he is going to face against Dukai, and I'll talk more about that later, but he's a young lion, and he wants to make history by being the first young lion to win the entire thing, and the number one thing you need to look out for is his front suplex hold. According to the little video vignette I just saw, because I did look at all 20 of these little video vignettes, showcasing a little bit about each one of these talents, which faction they represent, which company they represent, and what they plan to bring, and even their weight for that matter. Like I said, go follow New Japan Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. Great stuff. Again, he says he wants to surpass everyone's expectations. I've already been pleasantly surprised by the New Japan Cup from a number of veterans and newcomers, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy pulls out something very special. And then following that, we have El Phantasmo, the newest member of Bullet Club. And for those of you who don't know, just go look at him up on the UK scene. He has past history, especially with Will Ospreay, and I cannot wait for him personally to face Will Ospreay one-on-one. I know him mostly from Defiant Wrestling. He recently faced Pac, those of you who don't know, the former Neville, who now signed with All Elite Wrestling, back at their last event, Lights Out, in an incredible one-on-one bout. So Evan Tago brings a lot of aerial offense as well, and hard-hitting affairs, and a very colorful style. Welcome to the Headband Club, and the coolest pair of LED shades I have ever seen. So be on the lookout for El Phantasmo. We also have returning, representing Bullet Club, Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles. I know him mostly because he has a ton of past history with one villain, Marty Skrull, and he's representing Australia. And basically, he wants to come in here and win. I mean, simple as that. He says this has been a dream, and representing Australia is something very special to him in the best Super Juniors. And I'm sure he's going to showcase a lot of great matches. So just be on the lookout for him. I need to learn a little bit more about him, actually. And then we have, like I said, Dokai. Kind of already went into him, but again, Assassin, hired gun basically for Taiji. It wouldn't surprise me if Taiji would be in his corner in one of his matches. I don't know what to expect from this guy. It's going to be very interesting. This is his debut. And then we have Bushi, El Serio, representing LIJ. Listen, he hits you with that freaking mist, you're done, okay? He's very crafty. He's been in this 7 times now. This is his 4th straight appearance, and he calls this the biggest highlight for him as a singles competitor and all these people in general. And in the end, it's all about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Majide. So we'll see what happens. So with that, that's a brief synopsis on all 20 participants in this. Why don't we break down into each one-on-one match that we're going to get in the first 4 days. And boy, what the first 4 days it's going to be. My lord. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, between these first 4 days, we're starting the round robin expedition. You're going to see Block A and Block B in 2 days of action, respectively. So, and you're going to see about basically 5 matches each day. And you're going to see more about that, but again, I'm focusing only on the best of Super Juniors. For those of you who don't know, New Japan Pro Wrestling shows, they always keep building more with tag team matches. They're going to include all these participants, not even counting anything towards their scores in Best Super Juniors, but basically, like, you know, gaining momentum or even hurting their opponent, especially if you're Suzuki-gun. You're also going to see other superstars highlight, including some of the heavyweights, and even Brody King, who represents Villain Enterprises in Ring of Honor. Kind of surprises me that Brody King isn't in this, or Zack Sabre Jr. for that matter. But I digress. Day 1, it's all Block A. These are our opening matches of the Best of Super Juniors. So Day 1, we have Tiger Mask versus Taga. Taga being the veteran, also the mouthpiece for Zack Sabre Jr., basically trains Zack Sabre Jr. And then you have Tiger Mask, who has been at this for a number of years. And again, I'm just going to keep this simple. So again, critique me, judge me, challenge me, create your own bracket. I'd love to see it. I am just going to say that Taka comes in with the first opening win, and we're going to move on from there, and we're going to go to Titan. Oh, by the way, Tiger represents Suzuki-gun, and Tiger represents New Japan Pro Wrestling in general. So we have Titan representing Citadel, and then Yoshinobu Kanemaru representing Suzuki-gun. Again, the thing is, the more he drinks, the stronger he gets. Suzuki-gun, they're not afraid to take shortcuts, and they will do that. But I am just going to say that Titan wins this, because he's been in this for a number of years. He's a veteran of the game, and I'm going to say Titan gets the point here. By the way, again, if you win, you get 2 points. If it's draw, you get 1. If you lose, it's 0. So right now I have Taka with 2 and Titan with 2. Next we have Marty Skrull versus Jonathan Gresham. Our Ring of Honor bout, literally. It's the villain versus the octopus. That umbrella's got to come into play. I'm just going to keep it simple and say Marty Skrull, whoop, whoop. He's going to open with this and win and get 2 points. Jonathan Gresham coming off a singles loss on Ring of Honor television to Silas Young. I'm sure he's got a lot to prove here to himself, but I don't think he's going to beat the villain in this opening bout. And following this, we have Sho representing Roppongi 3K, member of Chaos, versus Shingo Takagi, member of LIJ. I honestly believe this is going to be match of the night. Probably one of the matches of the tournament. Probably one of the closest that could go to a draw. At first I thought it might, but I don't think it will. Both these two in tag action, when they tag into each other, they lay into each other with the fiercest clotheslines I've ever seen. But again, Shingo Takagi, he has not been pinned. He has not been submitted. He's unblemished. I'm going with Shingo for the win here. And Shingo's going to be one of my guys, I believe, to take it all the way. So Shingo Takagi is my pick here to win via pinfall, by the way. Yeah, so far I think Taka's going to win submission, Titan's going to win pinfall, Skrull's going to win chicken wing, and Shingo's going to win via pinfall. So right now I have all those guys with 2. And the last match, which is very interesting to me, of day 1, Block A, it is the champ himself, Dragon Lee, versus Taiji Ishimori. And for those of you who don't know, Dragon Lee, he represents CMLL, but he loves being part of New Japan Pro Wrestling because the fans have connected with him so much, and he feels he has a lot to prove to himself because he feels like his number one rival is Hiromu Tanahashi, who's currently out injured. The ticking time bomb! Basically, he's supposed to be returning. I look forward to his return. But the funny thing is, when Dragon Lee and Hiromu Tanahashi have faced each other in one-on-one action, Hiromu Tanahashi has beaten him on 2 occasions, and Taiji Ishimori lost in the finals last year to Hiromu Tanahashi. So there's a lot going on here, and not only did Dragon Lee win the title off Taiji Ishimori back at G1 Supercard 9 Incredible Triple Threat, but when they had their one-on-one rematch encounter, Dragon Lee won. Do you really think Dragon Lee can beat Taiji Ishimori again? I feel like Taiji's going to do whatever he can to win this time. And I feel like it's going to come down to a bloody cross that'll lead to a pinfall. So I'm actually going with Taiji Ishimori picking up the win here. And maybe it'll lead to a future title opportunity. I'm not entirely sure. So with that, I believe that Taka, Titan, Skrull, Shingo, and Taiji, after day 1 in Block A, will each have 2 points. The other ones will have 0. Following that, we will also go now into day 2, where they switch it now to Block B. Our first match is the Young Lion, Narita, versus the hired gun of Suzuki Gun, Dukai. I'm probably screwing up that name, so again, apologies. I have no idea what to expect from either of these, and I feel like even though he delivers a beautiful front suplex, Narita does, I feel like Suzuki Gun's got to go for the win here with the 10-year veteran, and I'm curious to see what submission he uses, and I see a legitimate win here, 2 points to Suzuki Gun and Dukai. Following this, we have Rocky Romero versus Robbie Eagles. Rocky Romero representing Chaos and the leader of Roppongi 3K, and Robbie Eagles representing Bullet Club. Now, Rocky Romero, again, he's been a champ before. He's a veteran of the game. He even brought Mikey Nichols, former member of The Mighty from NXT, into Chaos for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, with that said, I am going to go with, because Rocky Romero's biggest enemy actually here is Bushi. I'm going to go with Robbie Eagles for the win here, and say he beats him via submission. So, Robbie Eagles gets 2 points. And then following this, we have a unique one-on-one encounter between Ring of Honor and Bullet Club. It is Bandito versus El Fantasmo. Both of these men are capable of high-octane aerial offensive maneuvers. I could see this going quite the distance. I don't see it going to a draw. But it's El Fantasmo's first singles match under Bullet Club, under New Japan Pro Wrestling. But it's also Bandito's debut too. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. Jay White, brave with the switchblade, claiming that Bullet Club is stronger than ever. I am going to go with El Fantasmo for the win here, and he gets 2 points. Following this, we have Will Ospreay representing Chaos versus Bushi representing LIJ. Now, the thing is, Will Ospreay and Bushi, I don't think this is their first one-on-one encounter. But Will Ospreay, he's a new man, I feel like, and he feels like he can even go with the best of them, and he has. He's defeated the likes of Lance Archer and even Bad Luck Fale. He feels like he can truly do anything now. He doesn't feel like just connected to Ariel. He feels like a heavyweight. So I'm going to elevate him to that new height and say he gains momentum here and wins against Bushi. And it will go 2 points for him. Following that, we have the veteran here representing Taguchi Japan, well, basically New Japan in general, versus Chaos. It is Rizuki Taguchi, I am horrible at names, sorry, versus, remember, Roppongi PK, Yo. Okay, so Roppongi 3K, I don't know if we're going to get Sho versus Yo, and I don't know if either one of them are going to make it to the finals, per se. And then Taguchi, he's been in the games for years. At one point, he was in the semifinals. And again, he won it back in 2012. This one was a little bit tricky for me to think about, so... But again, I'm expecting surprises. I want to see some funky style. I wouldn't mind seeing a dance. I'm going to say that Taguchi picks up the win here and gains 2 points. So after day 2, the first day of Block B, I'm going to say that Dukai, Robbie, El Fantasmo, Ospreay, and Taguchi, they each earn 2 points via victories. Moving on from there, we go back into Block A, where things rotate now, and we get 5 new matches. We get Jonathan Gresham versus the veteran Taka. Again, so Gresham and Taka, they're not strangers to each other. They met each other back during the Rising Tour and tag action, and Jonathan Gresham made Taka literally tap out to his, I guess you could say, Iron Octopus hold. So with that, I'm just going to simply say Jonathan Gresham gains momentum here and gets his first 2 points. Following this, we have Tiger versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Again, he says the more he drinks, the stronger he gets. They use underhanded tactics, but I don't know. Tiger is a veteran of the game. Jeez, this is when... Again, I've been thinking about this all day. These matches are not easy. And Tiger Mask has faced him before last year and beat him in 10 minutes. Can he do it again? I'm going to go with an upset here and say that Kanemaru gets 2 points. Following this, we have Titan versus Shingo. I'm just going to say this right now, okay? Shingo is one of the best newest additions to New Japan Pro Wrestling I've ever seen. I truly feel like he should be a heavyweight at this point, and maybe this is what it's going to lead to. I'm just going to keep it simple and Shay. I'm not going to count out Titan, but I don't think Shingo is going to lose. I think he's going to go for this unblemished. I'm saying Shingo's going to win here. Following this, we have Muddy Scroll versus Taiji Ishimori. Both these two, very similar styles, I like to feel. They'll both use underhand tactics. They're both aggressive submission specialists. But I am going to go with... I'm going to go with the villain on this one, gaining 2 points via victory. Again, I think he's going to actually beat him via submission. Actually, that'd be interesting if he actually made Taiji Ishimori tap out. No, I'm going to say he catches him in the surprise roll-up. And we'll see what happens. And then following this, we get Dragon Lee, the champion, versus Sho. Now, this will be very interesting considering I have Sho coming off a loss against Shingo Takagi. He's going to come in here, I feel like, going off emotion and a more aggressive nature, trying to prove something to himself. Because he's going up against the champ. But do you bet against the champ here? Again, surprises have happened before. I mean, Kota Ibushi, that tap out to Zack Sabre Jr. during the New Japan Cup, that really was shocking to me. But that's a whole different story. But Lee has beat Sho before. This is not the first time these two have gone one-on-one. I'm going to go with Sho. I'm going to go with Sho, picking up the win here. 2 points for him. And that's the end of Block A overall over that 2-day period, which means right now my Block A has the following scores. Tiger Mask 0, Sho 0, Dragon Lee 2, Titan 2, Marty Scurll with a perfect 4, Jonathan Gresham 2, Taiji Ishimori 2, Yoshinobu 2, Taka 2, and Shingo with 4. In my opinion, both these blocks have at least like 5 wrestlers very strong, and then the other 5 are kind of like, you don't know which way to go with them. But following that, let's go into the next day for Block B. Day 2 of Block B, Day 4 of this entire thing. We have Narita versus Robbie Eagles. Again, Young Lion. I really would like to see the Young Lion pull an upset victory on one of these at one point. Robbie Eagles, again, experienced member of Bullet Club. I've seen the Young Lions on the Ring of Honor War of the Worlds Tour in incredible action. They have yet to pick up a victory, but I see how long they're coming along to earn their colors. Because again, you don't earn your colors until you literally earn your colors. That's the way the New Japan Dojo type thing works. But following this, I'm gonna say Robbie Eagles picking up the win here, gets another 2 points. Following this, we have Yo representing Roppongi 3K and Chaos versus Bandito. Bandito and Yo, I'm sure, can have an incredible one-on-one offense. And again, a lot of these men have never faced each other in one-on-one action, probably never even tag team action. I'm pretty sure Bandito and Yo have never faced off against each other. At least I haven't found anything for it. I'm going to say that Bandito comes out as a bandit and picks up the win here. If I were to actually pick a stronger member out of the two between Sho and Yo, I think I probably would pick Sho just because what I've seen him do against the likes of Shingo Takagi and how well he's held up. And that's just my opinion. Following this, we have Bushi representing LIJ versus El Phantasmo of Bullet Club. The thing is, how far do you see El Phantasmo going in this? Do you really see it coming down to maybe El Phantasmo and Will Ospreay in the semifinals? And do you count out a guy like Bushi in this? I don't know, because Bushi's been in this, again, for a number of years. He had a pretty good showing last year, I thought. So, with that said, and by the way, a lot of the people last year were pretty even. I mean, the lowest score was 6 points. I mean, he beat Flip Gordon, and he did beat Will Ospreay, Bushi did. But, I'm going to say, because this would actually be interesting if he did beat Bushi, because Will Ospreay didn't. I'm going to say El Phantasmo picks up the win here, picks up another 2 points. Speaking of which, next match, it's Will Ospreay versus Rocky Romero, a strict chaos-friendly bout.
I'm not sure how to interpret this match. I don't know if Rocky Romero's on the same level as Will Ospreay. I feel like this match is going to be very unique. I feel it's going to be a bit of a friendly encounter. I'm going to say that Will Ospreay goes over though and picks up 2 points. Simple as that. And then the last match of this Day 4 breakdown is Taguchi versus Dokai. We have the veteran of 40 years old in New Japan versus Dukai, 10-year-old wrestling veteran, managed his craft in Mexico, the hired gun of Suzuki Gun. I don't know what to expect from Dukai at this point. He's secret weapon, I feel. With that, I'm going to say he might be one of the strongest people because you don't know what to expect from him either. That could be one of your greatest assets, the fact that people don't know anything about you or what to expect. I'm going to say Dukai goes over here and picks up the win. And that ends my Day 4 Block B Simple Predictions breakdown, which means my Block B ends with Taguchi with... Taguchi... I'm sorry, I misread that. Whoopsie. Taguchi with 2 points. Will Ospreay with a perfect 4. Definitely one of the strongest pairs I feel to go all the way. Rocky Romero with 0. Sorry, bro. Yo with 0. Bandito with 2. Narita with 0. El Fantasma with 4. Robbie Eagles with 4. Dukai with 4. And Bushi with 2. So far I got my top people being The Villain, Marty Scurll, whoop whoop, Shingo Takagi, Will Ospreay, El Fantasma, Robbie Eagles, and Dukai, which is kind of interesting because, again, I feel like Shingo can go all the way. I have no idea what to expect from Dukai. I feel like El Fantasma and Will Ospreay are too bound to face each other in the semifinals. And then you have I just said that, Will Ospreay and El Fantasma. And then you have Robbie Eagles, and I feel like Marty Scurll, they're going to come back together in a one-on-one bout because, again, they have past history. There's past blood and hatred there, too. So, with that, I am going to say this, and I'm going to say this each night. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this down between the periods that they just run night-to-night basis, and then rest while I see how my brackets come out, how accurate I was, how wrong I was, and then see how that plays into the next part. Because I'm not even going to predict the rest of the bracket so far until I see these first 4 days. And I'll take that free day to figure out the next period. But I do want to say this. I feel like, and this is personally my opinion, I feel like the finals is going to come down to... Well, no, let me open my field a little bit, because this is where it gets tough. I feel like the finals are going to come down to the champ, Dragon Lee, who feels like, if nothing else, he wants to defend that title against Hiromu Tanahashi again. I hope he returns. El Fantasma and Will Ospreay, who's got bitter blood against each other, could be 2 of the greatest highlights right now in New Japan and in this whole thing. And then Shingo Takagi, who I feel like at this point should be bumped up to the freaking heavyweight and face for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship some point down the line. Heck, maybe even that could be the match for Wrestle Kingdom or G1 Climax, because we still have that coming up too. So that's why those guys feel like my front runners. And then Marty Scurll, veteran of the game, I don't know where he's going. I feel like he's bound for AEW at some point. And some of my friends brought this up too. So I just feel like he's going to go pretty far. I don't see him winning the whole thing. He's already gone after the NWA Heavyweight Championship, the Ring of Honor World Championship. I don't know. And he's faced Okada before, back at All In, an incredible one-on-one bout that went extended 15 minutes, and he lost that too. So it's just weird where Marty Scurll stands. That's all I have to say about that. But with that being said, I was posting the question in the brackets online, and I want to just point out a few things. A few of my friends here, including the lovely Cindy G of No DQ. Shout out to you, Cindy. She thought that it would be Taiji Mori and Flip Gordon, but when I told her Flip was Zinder, she said El Fantasma. It would be interesting if Taiji Mori and El Fantasma were facing off against each other one-on-one. As Taiji says, this is Reborn, but basically it could be like El Fantasma is taking Taiji's place. And we've all know Bullet Club has kicked out members before and added new members or elevated new members, so that'd be interesting if that happened, but I don't see that happening. I can see them facing each other one-on-one, but that'd be very interesting, Bullet Club going one-on-one. Steve Ferris, he's edging bets here, thinking half's going to go 9-1, the other half's going to go 9-1. He's got his top 4 being Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, and Taiji Ishimori. Again, the only name he doesn't have there is El Fantasma, which I find very interesting. And then one of my friends, Carolyn Price, she said Shingo should move up to heavyweight. I completely agree. I really hope this is the first step to movement to heavyweight. Because you gotta imagine, if he goes undefeated throughout this whole thing, and the funny thing is, if he goes all the way to the finals, it'll be in the same place he debuted, and he wins that, come on, he's bound to take New Japan Pro Wrestling into the future. Friend I know, Justin Fry, he said it should be Shingo versus Ospreay maybe in the finals. That'd be a very interesting one-on-one encounter. It would be faction versus faction, and I could see either one of those men taking this thing to the entirety. Cameron says Ospreay versus Bandito, and that'd be interesting actually, considering they're both very strong high flyers. And I can see Bandito pulling out maybe a new trick, kind of like when Ospreay pulled out that hidden blade at Wrestle Kingdom. And then, of course, we have some other people that say, like, Shingo. Someone said Desperado, but again, sorry, Lola, Desperado is injured. Chris Morch said Shingo Ishimori, which I think is a very strong bet. Shout out to you, Chris. And the thing is, one of my newest friends have come to find out, and go follow her podcast at Switch Babe Pod, where she breathes with the Switch Babe. Very awesome podcast. I just checked out one of its episodes. Shout out to you at AXIMILI55. But yeah, because funny thing is, folks, the Switchblade's going to face the ace of New Japan, who I can't get that sign right. There we go. Hiroshi Tanahashi at the finals of Best of Super Juniors, a special showcase match, which I find very interesting. I'm not going to call the winners going to be that yet, because I feel like they're going to be more promos, and this is going to play out more over time. Because again, this is the strength of New Japan. They build more stories off of what is their main event and outside of it too. And these tag matches help as well. And then, of course, follow my friends at Justin Wrestling and at Neo Reality Entertainment. They both basically put in Shingo Takagi and Will Ospreay into the finals. But again, we'll see. But with that, that is my first 4-day breakdown and simple predictions for Best of the Super Juniors 26. This is bound to be the best yet, as 2019 has been an incredible boom of wrestling that has given us better, more wrestling than before, more options in what has been very lacking lately, a wrestling industry where you don't see all this rise coming up, and it really has lately. Wrestling is at its strongest right now than ever, and I think we have AEW to thank part for that, and then other companies merging together and stuff like that. I mean, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, they're all doing great. Simple independent promotions, support local independent wrestling folks like Defiant Wrestling and Rise Ascent. They're both doing great as well, offer great content. There's so much great wrestling out there, folks. Go look for it. Don't just see it. And with that, I think I'm done here. And that also concludes my simple bracketology for the Best Super Juniors 26 as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and stay tuned where I will upload my current brackets shortly to my social media platforms. And of course, when the 4 days are up, I'll upload, compare and contrast, so you can see how right I was, how wrong I was. And if you want to do, and I challenge you all before that, including you, good friend Christopher Willis, see you for the Double or Nothing AEW predictions later this week. I suggest you print out your own brackets as well, challenge my points, and see how accurate you can get. But if you just want to follow more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me, if you want to challenge my brackets, you want to ask me anything wrestling, you want to talk wrestling, look me up, my Twitter at nfoster1916 or nodq.com/Noah takes you to my Twitter. And I'll also post stuff within a social media group on Facebook called Armbar, ARMBAR, exclamation point. Go follow it. We'll add you as long as you're a respectable person that enjoys wrestling, because wrestling's for everybody. Also, follow my simple YouTube channel here for more on the Best Super Juniors and other predictions on pay-per-views and live shows outside WWE, including but not limited to Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and who knows what else. I might surprise you with something independent. I thought about doing something for Defiant Wrestling for the upcoming show No Regrets. It just depends on how much I learn and how much time I have. So you can follow the simple YouTube channel at youtube.com/users/Noah Foster 210. And again, I'll be back after the 1-day hiatus to pick up my next set of predictions and to, go over my bracket and my thoughts too as Best Super Juniors continues. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I'll be doing predictions for Money in the Bank, NXT TakeOver 25, and AEW Double or Nothing. And you can follow this channel here at NoDQ.com. Or you can follow the channel here, NoDQ.com, Aaron Riff, right here on YouTube. Go buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts. Go follow our playlist on Spotify, #TeamNoDQ. And go to the official website where you can comment on anything. Polls, memes, GIFs, columns, reviews, pics, You name it. It's all there. It's all wrestling. As No DQ is expanding and is stronger than ever too. And they're a big reason why I do this. Been part of them now since, I believe, last year, September. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm also their current predictions champion, so stay tuned as I defend my title for Money in the Bank and NXT TakeOver 25. And again, we are super excited to bring you content for AEW and other independent wrestling content as well. And you'll find more independent wrestling content on my channel too. If you haven't already, go check out Extreme Chaos Wrestling. And as always, support local independent wrestling. And with that, I always like to close with this, because it defines me to a T. Support your local wrestling outlets, both big and small, and let's keep growing this wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, I hope you enjoyed this extended, simple stance predictions, Bracketology edition of my first ever rant on the Best of the Super Juniors, and I hope you do take part in these Bracketology and enjoy Best of the Super Juniors 26, because it certainly looked better than what you'll see on Monday and Tuesday night from WWE. I hope you all enjoy wrestling. If you don't know wrestling, give wrestling a chance. Go find somebody to connect to. Go find some fun. Go challenge somebody. Go talk wrestling. Check out the Elite Wrestling podcast I just did. I talked wrestling with just a bunch of people you heard me tag in this video for over 2.5 hours. Just go check out the Elite Wrestling podcast. There's a playlist right here on my YouTube channel. And until this 4-day breakdown occurs, I'll see you all later on in the next video, in the next part of the Best Super Juniors. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, comment, leave me your predictions, your bracketology, your thoughts, your favorites, your dislikes. Anything. I'll take anything in the comment section down below. And with that, have a good night.